Hey guys, today we are looking at measures of center. Hopefully most of your lesson today is completely review. A lot of this topics, as you can see, you see some words already that you recognize. We're talking about stuff from Algebra 1 and from middle school. Differences, we're looking at some of the application concepts of it and working backwards and critical thinking skills that come along with it. But to start with, let's do some quick vocab review. So hopefully it is safe to assume that you know the mean is the average, and of course we find the average by adding up all of the numbers and dividing by however many there are. The median is of course the middle number. To find the middle number, you have to put them in order from least to greatest, and then you go from starting from your left and your right and you move in until you find the center. If you hit two numbers in the middle, you need to find their average to actually find the median, which of course means add those two numbers up and divide by 2. The mode is the number that occurs the most. There can be more than one mode. Let's say there's a set of data and there's two numbers that each occur 3 times. Those can both be modes. If you have a set of data where all of the numbers occur only one time, that is called no mode. We don't write out every number and say that every number is a mode. We simply say there is no mode. The range is when you take the highest number and you subtract the lowest number, and yes, you actually do the subtraction. The range is a single number answer. Let's keep going. These you might be a little less familiar with. The quartile 1, also referred to as the first quartile or Q1. This is when you find the median of the numbers to the left of the median. Let me show you what I mean. If you have a set of data and you got this number here in the middle, you just found the median. The Q1 is when you find the median of this side. Ignore the median, you find the median of everything to the left. The reverse is true for quartile 3. Quartile 3, also known as the third quartile or Q3, is the median of the numbers to the right of the median. In other words, you find the middle of those guys. Then we have the inner quartile range. Again, it's a range. So we're subtracting two numbers. It is simply quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And yes, I want you to find the answer. Now, these last 3 items that we talked about here and the median all relate to a very important type of graph that they like to give you on the EOC and ask you questions about. That would be a box and whisker plot. Many times they'll give you a box and whisker plot like this, and they'll ask you for various pieces of information. As long as you know what each part of this graph represents, it's very easy to answer questions. First important piece is this guy right here in the middle. He is the middle of the box. Middle means median. If you are asked for the median, it's simply the middle line. The very ends of your whiskers, this guy is what we refer to as your minimum, because he's the very lowest part of the graph. This guy right here, he's referred to as the maximum, because he's the very highest part of your graph. And then you got the 2 edges of the box. This edge right here is your Q1, or your first quartile, and this guy here is your Q3. So they can ask you on the EOC for individual pieces that are labeled. They might ask you for the range. That means that you need to take your maximum and your minimum and subtract them. They might ask for your inner quartile range. That means that you have to find your Q3 and your Q2 and subtract them. So they'll ask you applications of the box and whisker, so I wanted you to be familiar with the different parts of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the examples that come along with this lesson. The first 2 examples are identical, so we're going to work through example 1 together, and then I'm going to have you guys try example 2 on your own. So let's take a look at example 1. You are being asked to find the mean, median, Q1, Q3, IQR, mode, and range for the following set of data. What I typically do to find all of those pieces I simply put them in order from least to greatest. It makes my work easier. So of course, starting with the smallest, 79, I cross them off as I go. We have 82, and then 87, and then 91, then 93, then 97, then 97 again, then 98, 99, 101, and finally we end with 102. That's just kind of that prep work to find all of your information. So the first thing they asked for was the mean. The mean is when we add up all the numbers, so of course pick up your calculator, add them all up. When you add them up, you will get 1,026. We have to divide by however many data values there are. There are 11, so divided by 11. Yes, you may round, one decimal is fine. You should get 93.3. The next thing they ask for is the median. So that is your middle number. We already have our data in order. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start on both sides and I'm going to put a mark underneath 1 as we go. So 79 and 102. 82, 101. 87, 99, 91, 98, 93, 97. As you can see, and I always circle my median so I don't use it again. 97 is your median. The next thing they ask us to find is Q1. So as our definition said, Q1 is when we do the crossing them off again, but we do only the numbers on the left side of the circled guy. Don't use 97, just the numbers on the left. So we're talking about 79 and 93, 82 and 91. So 87 is our Q1. We're going to repeat the exact same process to find Q3. 97, 102, 98, 101, 99 is your Q3. Next on the list is your IQR. This is a range. This is when we take the higher of the Q's, which is 99, subtract the lower, which is 87, and we get an answer of 12. Very, very easy. The next thing they ask for is the mode. This is, of course, your number that occurs the most. Very easy to see when they are in order from least to greatest. If I look through my list, the only one that I see used more than once is right here. 97 is used twice, so 97 is your mode. And then finally, the last thing we need to find is the range. This is your absolute highest number, which is 102. And subtract your absolute lowest, which is 79. And your calculator should tell you it's 23. So now, if you need to watch this again, feel free to rewatch this example. Otherwise, pause the video and please try example 2 on your own without my assistance. And then when you unpause it, you'll see the same exact explanation. Alrighty, so we are back to example 2. We're going to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. We are looking at 8.1, then 8.7, then 8.8, 8.9, 9.0, 9.4, 9.5, 9.8, and 10.2. So we're going to go through the same things that they asked us to find the first time. The mean, if you had added them all up, hopefully you got 82.4. You're dividing that by 9. Rounding, you get 9.2. The median, I'm going to start 8.1, 10.2, 8.7, 9.8, 8.8, 9.5, 8.9, 9.4. There you go. 9.0 is your median. Q1. If we repeat that process on the left, 8.1, 8.9, look at what happens. We have got two middle numbers here. We have 8.7 and 8.8. So as we are all familiar, when you have two numbers, you add them up, 8.7 plus 8.8. Make sure you hit enter in your calculator before you divide by 2. If you don't hit enter, you will get a wrong answer, but after you hit enter and divide by 2, you get 8.75. We're going to come over here to Q3. Same thing, 9.4, 10.2, 9.5, 9.8. Again, we have two middle numbers. We're going to add up 9.5 and 9.8. Hit enter, then divide by 2, and you get 9.65. So then, we have to find the IQR. So we're going to take the higher Q, which is 9.65, subtract the lower Q, which is 8.75, and you should get 0.9. Then we have to find the mode. If you look through this list, there is not a single data value that occurs more than one time. So this is considered to have no mode. Finally, we have the regular range. My very highest is 10.2 minus my very lowest is 8.1 for a range of 2.1. So these are your very basics. Some of your homework is going to have some of these very basic questions. Now that we've done the basics, we're going to move to the more critical thinking questions. So let's look at example 3. You are told to use the data 14, 42, 31, 25, 18, 55, 47, and 60. First question, how much does the median change if we change 55 to 15? So we're making a change in the data. The thing is, in order to answer this question, we need to know a before and an after data value. So let's start with the original data, and let's find the median first. So we need to take the data numbers that you see and put them in order. 14, then 18, 25, 31, 42, 47, 55, and then 60. So we're going to do our typical 14, 60, 18, 55, 25, 47, 31, 42. Again, we have two middle numbers. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to add them up, hit enter, and then divide by 2, and I end up with 36.5. So we need to now change the data. If you look at my data value, I'm going to take 55 out, and I'm going to insert a 15 way down here. So my new data looks like 14, 15, that's the new one, 18, 25, 31, 42, 47, 55 is now gone, and 60. So we do the exact same thing. 14 and 60, 15 and 47, 18 and 42, 25 and 31, there's your two middles. 25 plus 31, hit enter, divided by 2, gives you 28. So as you can see, the original median was 36.5, the new median is 28. Hopefully that should make sense to you. If you take away a high number and you replace it with a low number, your important data is going to go down. But they're specifically asking how much does it change. So we need to actually tell them that it goes down by, and it looks like it went down by 8.5. If you don't tell me how much it goes down, you wouldn't get full credit. Part B, how much does the average change? So now we're focusing on the exact same two sets of data. We're looking at this top set and this bottom set, but we want to find the average or the mean. So we're going to add them all up. So the first set, when you add up 14, 18, 25, 31, 42, 47, 55, and 60, we get 292. We're going to divide that by 8 data values. We get 36.5. The second set of data If we add up 14, 15, 18, 25, 31, and 42, and 47 and 60, we get 252. We're going to also divide that by 8, and we get 31.5. Again, if you notice, we put in place of a higher number, we put in a lower number, and the mean, or the average, went down, which is what should happen. But we should be able to say that it goes down by, and it looks like it dropped 5 points. So it goes down by 5. Alrighty. Go ahead and turn the page. We'll keep going. This is your typical critical thinking problem. This problem has several right answers. Write a set of, we need 8 different numbers. When I say 8, I'm telling you how many. Different means you cannot repeat anything. With a median of 25. So we want the middle number. We're focused on 8 data values, and we're focused on the middle number. I like to use fill in the blanks here. I'm going to draw 8 blanks. Now, if I was to find the median of these 8 blanks, don't know what they are, but we're finding the median. We'd cross off 1 from each side, and we would realize that there are 2 middle numbers. So in those 2 blanks, we need to put 2 numbers whose number in the middle is 25. Well, the easiest, most obvious answer is to put 24 in one of them and 26 in the other. 25 is directly in the middle. However, that's not the only option. There's lots of pairs that have 25 in the middle. I could make it 23 and 27. I could make it 22 and 28. I can make it 20 and 30. Once you set those 2 middle numbers, all you have to realize when you're making your other 6 is that the numbers on the left over here have to be lower than the number in the box. And these numbers over here on the right have to be higher than the number in the box. So if I go with 24, as long as I put 3 numbers there that are lower than 24, I'm good to go. 5, 10, and 17. On this side, I'm just needing 3 numbers that are higher than 26. 30, 41, and 80. So it's focusing on the important piece, which in this case was the median. Let's look at the next one. We have a data set here, 15, 24, 31, and 18. We have to add a number to that list to make the mean 30. We don't know what to add. So we're in algebra. Our goal is to solve this like an algebra problem. I'm going to add in x to represent my missing number. And so I'm going to treat this like any other problem. If I have to find the mean, I start by adding them all up. 15 plus 24 plus 31 plus 18 plus x. Then I divide by however many data values there are. Well, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 data values. And that's my mean. Well, I know in the problem that my mean is 30. So I'm going to put a 30 over here. Now it's an algebra problem. We have to solve for x. Think about algebra problems. Most of you are probably thinking, well, I want to add up all those extra numbers. I like that idea. If we add up the 4 numbers you're given, we have 88 plus x divided by 5 equals 30. Well, we got to start moving stuff to the other side. We can't move 88 yet because of the division bar. We have to get rid of that division bar. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. That leaves me with 88 plus x equals 150. Then, easiest way to finish getting x by itself, subtract 88 from both sides. My missing data value was 62. So I treated it like an algebra problem because we're in algebra. These are the kinds of mean, meaning, and mode questions they ask on the Algebra 2 EOC. higher order thinking. Last example. The mean of 11 numbers is 64. So we know we're focused on the mean. And 84 is removed from the list. What is the new mean? Here's the problem. We don't know any of the original numbers other than the fact that 84 is being taken out. So we kind of have to do this a little creatively. We know that mean means add them all up. Problem is, I don't know what they are. So I'm going to use this phrase. Sum, because that means add, the sum of, now we have 11 numbers, but I know one of them. So the sum of 10 numbers plus the 84 that I know, there's my 11, divided by 11 gives me 64. So I'm going to treat this the same way I did example 5. I'm going to set up an algebra problem. The difference is, I don't know but one of the numbers. I want to be able to get rid of 84. Can't get rid of 84 because of the division bar. Got to get rid of the division bar first. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 11. So the sum of 10 numbers that I don't know plus 84 is 704. Now I'm able to get rid of the 84. It even says 84 is removed. I have to remove 84. That means I have to subtract it. So now we know that the sum of the remaining 10 numbers is 620. Now I want to find the new mean. Well, normally when we find the mean, we add up all the numbers. Well, that's already done here. This is adding all the numbers up. After I add up all the numbers, I divide by however many numbers there are. So I'm going to divide by 10 numbers. So my sum, which was 620, I'm going to divide by 10 numbers, and I get a new mean of 62. And it should make sense. If the old mean was 64, and I took away a number, the new mean should go down. At this point, we've covered all of the notes. You're more than welcome to get a start on your homework. You'll have about 30 minutes in class to work on it. So if you don't think that's enough time, go ahead and get started so you at least have a chance to ask questions in class.